Hello everyone and welcome to a new series, this time in Pro Cycling Manager 2025. Another series where I will bring one of the worst teams in Pro Cycling Manager all the way to the Tour de France. Which team are we picking? You'll have to find out. Let's quickly get into this series by starting off with the basic settings. Obviously we will be using the World DB database. As you can see here, I am selecting it. And continuing on, obviously the World DB database has the database of this year, of 2025. I know we're heading towards the end of the season, but yeah, still using the same old database. Obviously, we're doing a similar challenge with CoRail. We're on the max difficulty there, so I feel like I'm quite confident and know what I'm doing. And we should probably do something similar there as well in this difficulty setting. Now for these sliders, you can set these sliders all the way to the maximum and have certain statistics be fair. And that means that statistics will definitely play a role in these stages. And if I have it too difficult in this challenge, I cannot make it easier on myself, which is good, I would say. So which team shall we go with today? Shall we go with one of the worst teams here of Turkey or Macedonia? An Egyptian team, an Iranian team. There's a lot of terrible teams, not very good teams here in the world. But in the end, I ended up choosing this Japanese team right here, Velolien Matsuyama. Many of the other teams have a little bit of a skill thingy here and there, or have a lot of riders. Velolien Matsuyama has none of it. Even KSPO, the worst ranked Korean team, has a little dot there, as you can see. But Velolien Matsuyama has none of that. KSPO also plenty of riders, while Velolien only has, 8 total, and 2 older riders as well, so this will be a challenge for us for sure. Looking at it in real life, obviously we have 2 riders with points in real life as well, and those are the older riders. They scored not even 100 UCI points throughout their entire career so far. And they've participated in a lot of national races here, even even in one of the Belgium races. So I think this would be an interesting challenge for us. A very weak Japanese team, and getting them all the way towards the Tour de France is what we are good at, or at least what we are trying currently with a Korean team. In this day and age, I find that Japan also has a pretty good sports culture. So I'm hoping that they will do well here in the races that you see that I'm selecting at the moment. Obviously, we want to do the Asian races first, right? So I'm selecting all the Turkish races, Chinese races, Korean races, Japanese races, etc., to try and get us as many points as possible, because in Pro Cycling Manager 2025, it is important to score UCI points if we want to move up in the ranks, and if we want to become a Pro Continental team, or if we want to become a World Tour team or anything like that. We need UCI points, and that means scoring those points in races where we can. It's different from PCM 24, where the rank of your team matters, right? Or the quality of your team matters. Here it is UCI points, and so I'm trying to get as many basically races in that I should be able to score points in. A lot of multi-day stage races where I always feel that I score a bit better in. Day stage races are more tricky. They are more difficult to score points in, because you basically just get one shot to do well, and if you fail at that one shot, there's no chance to get more points in that race. So let's go on to our sponsors after doing all that planning. As you can see here, we have a very interesting sponsor, I would say, who just wants Japanese riders. That will be an issue on itself. And we have some race objectives as well. Some first place race objectives, some first place in the time trial objectives. These are all very difficult, but with my knowledge of CoRail, I'm hoping that I can set them a bit higher, although a first place in these races seems very difficult. Tour of Japan, I think, even incredible. Why did I even move that up? That is such a silly move by me. However, the objectives for this sponsor don't seem to matter very much. I'm hoping that we can fail a couple and not score as well. But again, these are all Japanese races, so I want to perform in those. I want to show that this team is more than being the lowest ranked Japanese team, that these riders have qualities, and that is something that I would definitely want to show in our national races. The budget is also different here in PCM 25. I get the entire amount of money at the beginning of the year, which is different from a PCM 24, right, where you get it every month. So that's something to take care of here. And yeah, will be a bit tricky to deal with. Now let's quickly start off our first race here in the Tour of Sharia, a 5-day stage race, starting off with a time trial. Yeah, you know how good we are at time trials, right? Especially with Koril in the other race. It's even worse here in this Japanese team, as we have 0 time trial specialist. And you see here the top 20, we're not even close. Let's keep scrolling down. Yes, 59th position here. 1 minute 50 off the lead, off of the number 1. So not a great start here in the Tour of Sharia. Not a great start here, but again, time trials is not our specialty. We'll have to see for next season if we can get some Japanese riders as well with some time trial specialists, or maybe some other riders, depending on how our sponsors will stay or change in the next season. We'll have to figure out what to do with that. This is also my first playthrough of PCM 25, so we'll experience it together. The highs, the lows, the difficulties, the easinesses. We'll have to see. Let's quickly move on to the second stage, where it is a flat stage here in the Tour of Sharia. There's no commentator in these races, so if you have any suggestions on how to get the commentator active, let me know, because I missed that commentator from PCM 24. I like having him. I like having him introduce the races, and this time there is basically nothing here to tell us what is happening here in this race. So from this moment on, I will be your commentator here in these races. Now let's quickly start this race off here with some of our riders. I want to send Yoshida here in the breakaway. I need to test out our riders to see what they are good at, because I have generally no idea. Yoshida tries to attack, but cannot even get past the riders here in the front of this race. So it is a bit tricky here for us. Our top rider of the team here seems Hino. He seems to be our best sprinter. And at the last 6 kilometers of this race, I have my sprint train finally set up. Hino as last, obviously, as he is our best sprinter. Can we get some results here with him today? That will be our goal. We have plenty of riders here leading us out. I'm still trying to figure out how the sprint train stuff works as well. You see on the right there are 2 sprint trains going, and we are trying to get towards the front. It is tricky enough already. 2 kilometers remaining, 3 riders left. I'm hoping to do a good sprint here towards the end. There's so many riders already out front. A big sprint here by Katsura. Can Hino make it all the way towards front? No, he cannot. There's such a big group already all the way up front. No way to catch up to them. I have no idea what happened here in this race. And Hino gets across the line here as 14th. Katsura gets across the line here as 15th as well. Not the ideal start of today's race. Not the best here with our Japanese team. And I think this shows how difficult this challenge will be. Hino here moving up a spot, probably due to his positioning here, but still not doing extremely well. Let's see if we can improve on that here in this third race. Another flat stage here for us today here in this undulating route. Which should be a race fit for our sprinters, but there's mountains here at the end. Oh boy, I missed that. There's definitely mountains here at the end, which will be tricky for us, as we have, I think, mostly a sprinting team. Our mountain riders are barely non-existent. I think we have a mountain rider that is half a star of potential, so that's going to be tricky. Trying to get away here with Hino. He will not be very useful in this final stage of the race, so maybe he can get some bonus seconds here and stay in the breakaway, and maybe move away here in the breakaway. That is the goal of today. We have to take some risks here. We have to try and get towards the end of the race, try and get towards the front here, and try to get across the line to get any UCI points that we can. Big sprint here by Hino to get across the line as a first. Fantastic job by him. 3 additional bonus seconds on the line here for him. He is 1 minute and 47 seconds behind the number 1, so I don't think there's a good chance that he will entirely catch up, except if the breakaway makes it all the way towards the end. And as you can see, it definitely does not. We already have 2 riders absolutely exhausted, and we still have 30 kilometers to go. Hino here with a big sprint towards the front, another 3 bonus seconds for him. Fantastic job by him. And all we need to do now is make it towards the end of this race with our riders. Ooh, a big split here in total. Most of our riders lobbed off this race. You see here how important stamina actually is in this race. Even Morimoto, our hill rider, who has a quite an off day, is struggling to stay here at the end of this race. Can he make it on top of this hill? Can he make it over this little hilltop? Can he make it towards the front afterwards? Oh, he's having so many difficulties. Losing the back of the peloton now, trying to get back onto the back of this peloton, but the finish is already there. All he had to do was make it towards the end over this hill, towards the front of this peloton, and he was unable to do so. A terrible position here for us in this race. The rest of our team is so far behind. You see here Mori now 3 minutes behind. Oh boy, what a challenge this will be. So another terrible result here for our team. Morimoto at least moving up 9 places. Hino moving down 24. Oh boy. Oh boy, this will be a very difficult challenge. Why did I choose this Japanese team again, guys? Why did I not make it easier for myself? Why don't I just do, like, I don't know, a proper continental team that has a lot of riders and a lot of skilled riders there for themselves? That is challenge. Welcome to stage number 4 of the Tour of Sharia, another mountain stage. Oh no. Yeah, so this will be a very difficult one for us. I can send people in the breakaway. At least it's a little bit shorter than the previous race, but it's still over 100 kilometers. And I feel like our riders just have difficulties in these larger races. Stamina is such an important factor here in Pro Cycling Manager. I've also noticed it in other races that I've ridden already in the future. Stamina is a factor that is kind of decisive here in general for our riders. I would like to send someone in the breakaway, as you can see here, but we are just so far in the back of the peloton that there's no chance for us to do anything with it. So we'll just stay here in the peloton, protect our riders, and make sure they make it all the way towards the end. Protecting here Morimoto, who seems to be our best hill rider of the team, so we'll have to see how that goes. 4 kilometers remaining. We're still all in the peloton. We're doing great. I'm so proud of our team. Our Japanese team finally staying in the peloton, not wasting too much energy, but oh boy is this hill tough. 3 kilometers remaining here. Morimoto, our best hill rider, is just doing his best. I'm just trying to manage people's energies, trying to make sure that they don't blow up, try to make it sure that they get all the way towards the end. Morimoto here still trying to get all the way towards the finish line. It is difficult. You see some riders just dropping down who were at the front already. So Morimoto is doing fantastic here in this race. Well, 2 kilometers to go here towards the finish line. He's slowly but surely moving up towards the front. What is United Arab Emirates doing here? Maybe they're here because it's the Tour of Sharia. I have no idea, or maybe it's the development team. But Jesus, they are doing extremely well here. I sprint way too early with 1 kilometer to go. It's also trying to figure out how sprinting works in this game, because it is a bit different than Pro Cycling Manager 24. I'm trying to do this with everyone that I got, trying to get as good of a position as possible, trying to jump away from these groups here. And where does Morimoto finish? That will be the question. You see a big group already here. Oh boy. Oh boy, you see the frustration here in my clicking. Morimoto letting all these other riders pass him, sprinting here from 1 kilometer to go. There was no use in doing so. Not even a top 20 position here for him. What a disappointment once again. He does move up in the general classification. Now 58th position here for him, but 4 minutes behind the number 1. It is not great for our team. The rest of our team doing okay, I would say, but most of our team is about 20 to 30 minutes behind the number 1. We are struggling in this race. Tudor Pro Cycling, the under 23 team, doing extremely well. Congratulations to them. Another flat race here now in this 5th stage of the Tour of Sharia. Oh boy, let's see if we can at least score something here. Again, we are struggling here in this race. It is very much finding our way. How do things work? How does this game work in general? How do our riders fit together? Do they work together at all? How is their stamina? Apparently stamina very crucial for our riders, and they just have none of it. I don't think we have a rider that has anywhere or any statistics close to 68, let's say. I don't think there's any riders close to statistics that are around 70 even. Most of them are around 58, as you can see here, to 62. I think that's kind of our spread for most of our riders. So it will be a challenge here to do anything, to be honest. Here now in these last 5 kilometers, the rest of our team is already exhausted here and dropped off the back here. This peloton has definitely split up. We are trying to get more towards the front of the peloton now with a 20-second gap. How cool would it be if we were in that 20-second or in that front group? We're trying to move up towards there, and very early sprint here by Hino to try and get towards the front of this peloton, but oh boy, it is so incredibly difficult. Still 1 kilometer to go and he's already sprinting. No energy left in his legs. The rest of the riders very easily getting across the line here in that top 20 position for them. If only we were in that front group, maybe we would have stood a chance then. But again, a very poor positioning here for us in today's race. Morimoto also moving down a couple of spaces here. Hino moving up a couple, but he's 12 minutes behind the number 1. A very poor race here for us, a race to forget. Let's quickly move on to the Grand Prix Sakyat Sidi Youssef. Registered as a flat race, but there's so many hills in there, and it's an uphill finish. So I don't know how this race got a flat classification, but I would definitely disagree with that. This seems much more hilly here in this undulating race. Again, if you know how to activate the commentator at the beginning, let me know. It's killing me. It's absolutely killing me. I enjoy having that guy in my at the beginning of these races, and it's nice to hear him talk as well from time to time. Anyway, on to this race. Now, again, very hilly. It is also relatively long with 120 kilometers. Obviously not as long as the Tour de France race, and thankfully it is not, because otherwise my riders would suffer even harder than they already are in these races. Trying to protect everyone here in the peloton. I don't think the breakaway will make it all the way towards the end, so it will be important for us to stick it out here towards the end. And as you can see here, a group of 40 remaining here in this peloton. Our team is all the way up front, and why is that? Because the breakaway is actually making it towards the end. I'm trying really hard here in these last 7 kilometers. You see us actually breaking off here from the peloton, which is a surprise. If we don't do it, then I don't think there's any other riders that will really make it here towards the end and get a top 10 position. And that's what we want to go for. Again, these points are important for us, right? So we want to try and get as many of these as possible and try to score some points here where we can. Hino, again, our best sprinter, so that's who I'm counting on. But man, look at the energy of our riders that is just fading away here very, very quickly. So I'm trying to just stick it out here towards the end, trying to stay up front, trying to catch up with any rider here up front that I could. Hopefully that we can, still get across the line here in a podium position. Try and get as many points as possible. It is the uphill section right now. 1 kilometer left to go. I tried to sprint here off the wheel of Shinkai with Hino. Shinkai blocking some other riders, so Hino gets quite a good launch here. Can he make it here past this other rider? This would be a podium position here for us. Can we get a 3rd place here with Hino? No, we cannot. A 4th place, which is great. That means UCI points here. Our first UCI points here in this race. A fantastic job here by Hino. What an amazing result here by our riders. Who would have thought Hino Taisai, sorry, my bad, scores points here in his first couple of races with our team. Oh, now the last race of today, it's the Tour d'Algérie, a very flat race for most of them, but a couple of hilly races here and there as well. So 9 races for us. That means 9 chances for us to get a podium. Actually, sorry, my apologies. It is 10 because here is the 10th race, which is another flat one. So a lot of flat races here in the Tour d'Algérie. Should be plenty of chances for us to get more UCI points. Again, a 4th place here with one of our riders. Fantastic job in that race by Hino. Let's see if we can repeat that result here in any of these races and maybe try to get even a top 10 position in a general classification here today. That would be fantastic. Obviously, the Tour of Algeria was a fluke for us. Not really scoring any points, not really doing very well there. But I'm hoping to do much better here and explore what our riders can do in this 10-day stage race. A very long stage race, to be fair. Not a lot of 10-day stage races. And I don't know if this is one that is also in Pro Cycling Manager 24, to be honest. But I don't think I've ever written this one in there. Anyway, not much chance for the breakaway to get away, so I'm protecting our team as much as possible. We're heading towards the second in-between sprint points, which means bonus seconds. And I definitely want Hino to get those bonus seconds as he is our sprinter. Gets across the line here very, very easily as first. good amount of bonus seconds, good amount of bonus points here for him as well. And now he can get some water, same for the rest of our team, and we can prepare for that finish here towards the end. Abe, who is one of our oldest riders, who is currently kind of vibing on his bike apparently, who is also a mountain rider, so I'm hoping for him to get the mountain jersey in this tour as well. I don't expect a lot from him. He has very poor statistics, as you can see, but with a 65 on the hills, he seems to be our best hill rider of the team, so I'm hoping that he can prove that here in this many-day stage race as well. Heading now towards the last 7 kilometers of this race, we have our sprint train going fully. As you can see here, we are near the front. There's another team just doing slightly better here. With a bit more effort, we should be able to catch up towards that front position. And obviously, Hino is in the back here as the last rider here to sprint away. Our main sprinter here with 4 kilometers to go, getting ready to put on a performance. You see a bit of weaving around here. Some riders trying to block our riders as well, which is not great. A small group of riders is already away, so I sprint quite early here with our riders. They deceive me. Those darn riders deceive me, and I sprint from 1 kilometer to go, but I sprint way too early, and I lose all of my energy slightly too early as well, which means no top podium step here for Hino, no top 3 here, but a 5th place here for Hino, which still is pretty good, to be honest. I don't think this is points worthy, but a top 5 position after the first stage is much better than we did in the Tour de Algeria. So great job here today by Hino. Same time as the rest, as you can see. We did get a lot of bonus seconds though, so I'm hoping that I'm curious just how these riders are doing so well, because I've never heard of these riders and they're beating mine, so how dare they. We got a bunch of bonus seconds, and so I'm curious to see what that will mean for the general classification. As you can see, Hino actually top of the young riders there, so great job by him. Abe top of the mountain classification as well. And our last finisher, oh no, it is Yoshida, finishing 2.5 minutes behind the peloton, so not a great result here by him today. Let's quickly move on to the general classification. As you can see here, Hino also in 5th, I should say, sorry, not in 5, in 5th in the general classification. So, no additional points, no additional bonus seconds here. Weird. Let's quickly move on to the second stage here of this tour, which again is quite flat with 2 in-between bonus sprints as well. Let's see what we can do here in this stage. Maybe another sprint victory here for Hino, or maybe another top 5 position here for Hino, I should say. That is probably the goal of today. We are quite encompassed by this peloton. There are no mountain points for us to get either. So I will just sit here in this peloton and defend our team as much as possible. Hopefully the peloton will chase after the breakaway and make sure that they don't get too far out. And maybe we can get some additional bonus points and bonus seconds in the in-between sprint points. That would be the goal of today. Let's quickly move on to the second in-between sprint point. As you can see there, Suzuki actually, wow, what a sprint by him, doing really good. But a big sprint here by him. Hino getting across the line here as first, fantastic job. Suzuki taking up the second place as well. And the peloton obviously catching up to us immediately afterwards. And now we can just protect our riders once again in the peloton. Make sure they are secure and get ready for that final sprint here that we are going. A rider jumped away in these last 10 kilometers. I did not believe that he would make it, but apparently the other teams do not seem to care too much about chasing after him. So he's now 1 minute away here with 5 kilometers to go. That is generally a recipe for success from these riders. If they are 1 minute away with 10 kilometers to go, that is kind of the how do you call it, mark that would be able, or for riders to be able to catch up to someone else. So if you are 1 minute away with 5 kilometers to go, you seem to be in a pretty good position here. Slight uphill finish which flattens out towards the end, so I'm trying to get towards the front here with our riders. A big early sprint here with Suzuki. I was not paying attention at it. This is obviously 1.5 kilometers before the finish line by the rider up front. A early sprint here again by Hino. Can he repeat his top 5 podium, or top 5 position I should say? Let's see if he can. First place obviously not a podium position here for him, but again another 5th place here for Hino, just outside of the points, just outside of the podium. But it should prove pretty good here for his positioning in the general classification. Let's see what that does very quickly. Moving up 2 places here, Hino Taisei. Fantastic job by him. Now in 3rd position, which means a podium place here for us. I should stop going for these in-between sprint points, by the way, as they do not seem to give any bonus seconds. Finishes also do not give any bonus seconds. So it's a bit of a weird race, I have to say. 10 stages, no in-between bonus seconds, no bonus seconds at the finish either. So everyone is kind of in the same time unless you really get dropped off, and positioning will really matter here for us. So we probably position better than some of the other riders with a 2nd, 5th place here by Hino. Fantastic job by him, and that moves him up all the way to 3rd. All we need to do is just keep repeating that, I would say, right? Let's quickly move on to the 3rd stage here. 2 5th places already by Hino. Let's see if he can repeat that here in this 4th one. In this 3rd one now. Another flat race here for us today, but it has mountain points, so obviously I'm sending out Abe, or Abe, I should probably say. Is it Abe or Abe? I have no idea. Messing around here a bit with the buttons, as you can see here. The peloton is kind of chasing after them, which means it is difficult for Abe to really get away from the peloton. He tries his best, but the group is already 13 seconds ahead of him, so it's trying to get towards the riders here up front. Peloton is chasing behind as well. I did not expect the peloton to be so active in chasing behind these riders, and Abe does manage to get away here. 1 minute 40 on the peloton. You see here he is absolutely exhausted, however, so not doing so great here in this breakaway. And I just sit up now and try to rest his legs as much as possible. We're trying to stay away as much as possible, but at least Abe gets his mountain points in this first in-between mountain sprint. The in-between mountain or in-between points section does not really matter for us too much. And now here with 600 meters to go, I do a big attack again here by Abe, riding past the Algerian rider, getting across the line here once again as first. More mountain points here for Abe. Fantastic job here by him. 56 kilometers to go with a 1 minute gap, so we will definitely not make it towards the end, but 1 kilometer remaining here for Abe to get even more mountain points, and that is the goal of today. The gap is closing slowly but surely. You see it actually getting much closer here in this uphill section, where Abe gets across the line here as 2nd. So that means at least a bunch of additional bonus points in the mountains, additional mountain points. 31 mountain points for him at the moment, a 9-point lead on 2nd place. And as you can see here, the effort that he had to do to get these mountain points exhausted him too much. 3 minutes now behind the peloton. Yoshida also already absolutely exhausted here, which is a bit disappointing. A lot of our team also used most of their yellow bar already, so for them these races are just a bit too long. You see them exhausted, they've pushed themselves quite hard. Morimoto also now injured or not feeling super well, so that's not great here when you still have a week of stages left to go. 5 kilometers remaining and we only have 2 riders left. Oh, how we are suffering here in this race. Things are really not heading our way. Our riders are exhausted. We still have 3 kilometers left to go. It does seem to be a downhill sprint here, so positioning will be very important. I do a very early sprint here again with Katsura, trying to get towards the front. Hino now leading the sprint here with 1 kilometer to go, but his energy just runs out. Will there be another 5th place here for him in the cards again today? No, definitely not. The winner is an Algerian rider. Hino gets across the line here in 10th. Top 10 position here for him. Losing out on another top 5 here. Losing out on another podium finish. His positioning was quite good. I just think we sprinted a bit too early here with him. Moving him down, sadly, 1 place in the general classification. 4th place now for Hino. Other riders of her team thankfully moving up a little bit. Suzuki sadly losing a lot of positions as well because he was quite exhausted. So yeah, not great here for our team. Moving down a couple of positions, and Hino also losing 1 position. So we need to do better in that aspect. Abe is at least 1st in the mountain classification, and that's what I call a victory. So that will be some additional funds for us in that sense. 3rd stage done, still 7 more to go, so plenty of opportunities, plenty of chances. Hoping that our rider that is not feeling well will recover quite quickly. We'll have to see in this next race. Going now to stage number 4, again, looks quite flat, but it has an uphill finish, and that is always a little bit deceptive. mountain points up for grabs, and you know what that means. That means that Abe is being sent out. Of course, we want to get those mountain points with our Japanese riders here to try and keep that mountain jersey as long as possible. I don't know how long is realistic to keep that mountain jersey, but we'll do our best here in today's race. Now on the rest of the race, we'll just defend basically our riders in the peloton, right? It is an uphill finish. I'm hoping that our riders will perform well here. Hino is looking average. The rest of our riders with minus statistics. So not the best here for our team today. Abe, on the other hand, now getting across this first mountain section and beating the Algerian rider here quite easily in this man-to-man race here towards the top. Securing additional bonus points for that climber classification, making sure that he is in the lead and stays in the lead, which is very important. And obviously trying to work together with the Algerian rider to stay away as long as possible. Abe getting caught out here by this Algerian rider. Very well done by him. Just my fault for being caught out, sadly. And getting across the line here as a second, so not ideal for Abe. Still 3.5 minutes towards the peloton though, but there's, with that breakaway and with losing those points, it doesn't really matter for us too much to gain anything here in these in-between bonus points. So I just kind of set back towards the back of the peloton, let the Algerian rider tire himself out, and I'm certain that towards the third in-between mountain point, we'll be caught up with that rider. So we'll just sit back here in this race, sit back here in the peloton, and wait towards the final part of this race. Getting here now towards the third in-between mountain points, as you can see here, the basic breakaway is still ahead, surprisingly. I did not expect them to be ahead still. So Abe still being sent out, moving here towards the front, trying to make sure that he gets across the line here as a second, and he does. 7-point lead here now on Hamza, who is in first here, or who's in second, I should say, but in that breakaway, trying to stay away for as long as possible. Again, just trying to make sure that we get as many mountain points as possible here in this race. 3 kilometers remaining now in this final section. It is an uphill section, as you can see here on the map, but the gradient isn't too high. But our riders are just suffering immensely. We are not a good mountain team, as you can see here. 1.5 kilometers to go. I'm just trying to get towards the front as well as I can. 1 kilometer to go. I sprint again with Hino, but he loses out on energy about 100 meters from the finish line. A big mistake here by me. If I waited for another 300 meters, it would have been so much better. But again, another 9th position here for Hino. A top 10 position here for him. 4 top 10 positions in a row, so not bad by him, but not really the results that I expected or want to get from him. Abe still not, obviously number 1 in the mountain classification, but Hino sadly moving down 4 places here, even with a top 10 position, moving down 4 places, so we are away from that podium place. Still plenty of chances here for us, obviously, with plenty of races to go, and we want to get that podium place back. We want to get those top 10 positions, those top 5 positions, those podiums. We want to get those points. We need those UCI points if we want to do better in the next season. So here again with quite a flat stage. However, a big mountain in the middle that seems to be ready for some mountain points here for Abe. Obviously needed to keep an eye out here on Hamza. If he jumps away, I need to be with him. Abe, what are you doing? Jump after him, Abe. Abe, why are you not doing anything? Well, it's because no one else is really jumping away, so if I stay here in this peloton, I'm sure I'll be fine. And as you can see here, Abe also not with the best statistics today, so I want to kind of sit here in this peloton and just wait it out. We'll definitely threaten this rider here towards the top step or towards the end of this race. Here now in this hill section, Abe absolutely exhausted. 2 riders ahead of him. Can he get some additional points at least? Yes, he again gets across the line here as third. Still a 3-point lead here in the mountain classification. Still will keep his mountain jersey for today, but not really the result we expected from him. I was hoping for him to do a little bit better up this mountain, having him protected like that. Either way, second in between sprint point, another sprint here by Hino. I'm not entirely sure why I do this. There's no additional bonus seconds for him to get here. But we do get some bonus points, and he is now first in the points classification. So congratulations to Hino being first in the points classification. I'm sure that'll go away with the end of the stage where, you know, he needs to get a top 3 position to try and maintain that, which is difficult enough here for our team. 8 kilometers remaining, trying to get that lead-out train going once again. You see us doing our best here towards the end of the stage. 2 other lead-out trains happening as well, so we'll be fighting with a couple of other riders here towards the end of the stage to try and get that victory, try to get, you know, additional bonus points here for our team. Now the other team's slowly but surely pulling away here in this train that we're having. We're trying to catch up to them, but I have no idea why we cannot keep up with these trains at all. It is very, very difficult. 2 kilometers to go, a very early sprint once again by Katsura. Suzuki now sprinting from 1 kilometer to go. I'm trying to lead out a little bit better. 700 meters to go. Big jump away by Hino. No podium place for us once again. We really tried our best here, and it did. Indeed was a much better sprint here for us in this 5th stage of the Tour of Algeria, and another top 5 position here for Hino. Not a podium for us, just outside of that podium position, but a much better sprint here from our team, something that I can definitely be happy with here in this race. Moving him up 4 positions as well immediately, so great job here by Hino, making sure that he proves himself in this 5th stage. Not doing as well in these previous 2 stages, but this 5th stage really showing that he matters here and is in the fight for that podium position. So great job here by Hino Taisei. Really well done here. Moving up 4 spaces, getting closer to the podium position. And again, 5 stages left to go, so much to lose, but also much to gain. Let's see how that will work out here in the 6th stage of this tour. A much hillier stage this time, as you can see here, with an undulating route. A lot of mountain points here up for grabs, a lot of in-between sprint points up for grabs. So it's a bit of a tricky scenario. Do we send out Abe to go for those mountain points? Do we protect him here? It is an uphill finish, so I think, especially if I want to get some UCI points or I want to score well there, it would be good to save up our riders, but also if I don't get any of these UCI points, it might be good to get that mountain jersey and get that income from the mountain jersey. So it's always a bit tricky in these races to decide what I want to do, what is best for the team, what is best in this current scenario. But in the end, I just kind of sit here in the peloton and protect everyone as well as possible. As you can see, only 1 breakaway rider here in the first in-between mountain point, and that means that Abe can get across the line here as second. I just need to push on a little bit faster here to try and get towards the front. A big effort here by Abe to go and move forward here for him. Getting across the line here as second. Yoshida almost getting in front of Abe there, so not as ideal as I want to. Oh my god, he did get in front of him. Damn it, Yoshida. We wanted Abe to get across this mountain point as second. Instead, it was Yoshida. Still plenty of mountain points ahead, though. And in these second and third in-between mountain points, we have the same thing happening here. This time attacking with Abe a couple hundred meters in before the mountain point, to make sure that he gets across the line here as first. I noticed this, that obviously the first rider is 200 meters from this mountain point, so I sprint away a little bit too early here. And here is the 1 kilometer before the mountain point sign, so bit of a mistake here by me, but you know, early move here off the front of the peloton to get ahead of the peloton, and that means that Abe is now 1 minute ahead of the peloton, so I can just relaxed cycle across this line here with all the relaxation in the world. Getting second across the line, 8 additional mountain points here for Abe. Pretty good. He stays in front. I tried to keep the effort up because the second mountain point is quite close by. He now has 1 minute on the peloton. The peloton does not seem bent on getting us back, so I just cycle relaxedly towards this first mountain point once again, or towards this third mountain point once again. Get across the line here again as second. More mountain points here for Abe. Great job here by him, and now it's up to focus for this in-between sprint section and the finish, of course, that is coming up. What is that? A 17-point lead currently on the number 2, so great job here by Abe, basically getting all the second places in these mountain points. Good job here by him. On towards this little last in-between sprint point. We didn't get many points in between here. It isn't our focus, but, you know, Hino here, who has that lovely green sprint jersey, gets across the line here as first. 1 point ahead of the competition. Very nice. It's probably not his... he probably wasn't ahead before this, but getting some additional points here as well. Why not? 8 kilometers to go. We jump back towards our shot with the peloton. We have our sprint train going. You see Morimoto still with poor conditioning, sadly. So he is suffering. 7 kilometers left to go. Our sprint train is going all out. Yoshida is also exhausted. I want to push the peloton here up this hill. I want to see if I can make it difficult for any other sprinters while making sure that Hino has his energy left over. You see the other teams are trying to do the same here. They are really going all out, especially in this descent, trying to keep their positioning going as well as possible and trying to reposition some of our riders who are gaining a lot of energy in this descent here of this race. 2 kilometers left to go, and this is where the fight begins. This is where the uphill effort starts. Going all out here in this final uphill effort. We are losing some positioning here towards the front. Some riders switching back and forth. It is becoming very, very difficult to get towards that front line. 700 meters to go. Hino here with a final sprint towards the finish line. Can he make it across the line in the podium position? It's not looking like it. Can Hino improve on any of his positioning, or will it be another top 5 here for him? He does get passed here by the rider on the left, and another, a top 6 sadly here for Hino. I was expecting another top 5 for him, but another top 10 position for Hino. Some of our other riders getting across the line here in a top 20 position as well, so not bad by our team. Moving Hino back up again into that podium position. 3rd now in the general classification, so no additional bonus seconds for him, but some additional bonus points at least, and he is 1st in the points classification. Abe here 1st in the mountain classification as well. Let's see if we can defend those jerseys in this stage, and if we can move up a couple of positions here with Hino. It is a very flat race here again, so, and with a downhill, or not really a downhill finish, but a very flat finish there towards the end. The majority of this race, however, is a downhill. As you can see here, we are basically cycling down a little bit of a mountain all the way towards the finish line. I'm trying to send out Yoshida here in the breakaway with the hopes that if he does make it all the way towards the end, it will only be beneficial for us. Trying to get, if he can get into the breakaway, try to get towards the finish line, get across the line here in a top 3 position. We want those UCI points, and with this stage, it doesn't seem to be too difficult. Here now in the first in-between sprint section, you see it is 2 times the speed. Yoshida winning his sprint from Hamza, who is currently, I think, the best Algerian rider in the mountain classification. But again, these in-between sprint points don't mean very much. I just want Hamza to not get them. He is our competitor here in the mountain classification, and if possible, I would like to block him as much as possible. Hino here with a sprint towards the finish line in this second in-between sprint point, getting those mountain points there as well. 36 points now on the board for Hino. A 6-point lead on the number 2, defending his mountain or his points jersey a little bit longer. You see Hamza there in 3rd position in that points classification. So good for us to get those sprint points. We do a little bit of a mistake here in the mountain points. Maybe we could have gotten a bit more mountain points here with Abe, but I was too focused on setting up that sprint train. 8 kilometers remaining here for us. That means that we have only 8 kilometers to get towards the front. You see us fighting here for position. Again, Morimoto, who has that sickness, that has that illness, up front here, trying to lead out the train. Trying to get more and more towards the front. Our positioning is good at this moment, but the more we get towards the finish line, I notice that our positioning just kind of falters. Other riders trying to block us now, trying to break up our sprint train. We are in the wheel of another sprint train, trying to get more and more to the front, but as you can see here, this other sprint train just seems so dominating, trying to keep us away from that front. Yoshida now up on the front of our sprint train, trying to break up the other sprint train, trying to break forward towards the finish line. Less than a kilometer to go. I try and sprint with everyone, try to sprint with Hino at the last moment, but sprint slightly too late here. Not very happy with our sprinting train here. Will he get another top 10 position? It looks almost guaranteed. A 8th place here for Hino, 9th place for Yoshiro. So not bad by our team, but again, we could have done way better here in this race. Now let's see what that does for the general classification. Hino sadly losing 2 spots once again. Man, this tour so far, it's up and down for Hino. Hoping that he still can catch up to that podium position. He's doing rather okay. I'm still pretty happy if we get into that top 5 position here in this tour. Let's see what we can do here in this 8th stage of the Algerian tour here with Hino. Again, a hilly race, to be fair, especially here in the beginning, and towards the end it actually goes uphill, so it will be tricky here for our sprinters. Can we deliver a good sprint in the end? How will our sprinters perform in that uphill sprint? We know with Korail there are some punchers within our team that can do well. Can we have the same here in this Japanese team? That will be the question. Sending out Abe here, I should say, to try and get into the breakaway, to try and get some of those mountain points that are up ahead, and maybe some of those sprint points as well. Abe, plenty of distance in the general classification, 6 minutes behind the number 1, so no real competition from him here in this race, and he does make it here towards that first in-between mountain point, 2 minutes off the peloton, so there's plenty gap here between him and the peloton. Nothing really to move him all the way up to first, but, you know, still plenty of space here to get these mountain points. A big jump away here by Abe from his competitor, getting across the line here as for securing that mountain jersey even more, but you see his energy is already so low, hoping to regain some of that energy here in this downhill section. You see here a kilometer before the in-between sprint points, there are no in-between sprint seconds. We catch up to Abe, and Hino very easily gets across the line here as first. Suzuki here also getting across the line here as second, stealing some of those in-between sprint points as well. And Hino now with an 11-point lead here in the points classification. Good job here by him. If only there were any bonus seconds here, that would have been fantastic. But sadly, no bonus seconds here in this tour. On to the second in-between mountain point. You see here a jump away again by Abe, or not really a jump away, just a leading point here by Abe, getting across the line here again as first. 35 points on the number 2, solidifying his position here. 2 more stages to go after this, but it does look rather confident that he maintains that mountain jersey for both of those stages, unless the competition gains 35 points in those last 2 stages. I really hope not, however. On to the last 7 kilometers. You see 2 of her riders already dropped off. 2 exhausting for them, 2 difficult for them. One of them is Morimoto, who's feeling not great here in this stage. Just needs to ride his own tempo here in this race. And 5 kilometers to go. We're trying to push hard to get towards the front. We are nowhere near this front, though. We're also getting blocked by several riders trying to keep pushing, but Suzuki just, getting blocked off here towards the front. Having a gap now towards these little sprint trains that are there as well. Again, another block here by other riders, making sure that Suzuki cannot get through towards that front. Abe giving it his all to get anywhere close to it. Hino here trying to jump away from the wheel with 800 meters to go. Some more riders blocking his path, and there's no chance that he gets anywhere towards this front group. Hino trying to sprint for everything that he is to get into a top 15 position at least. Try to not lose any time here on this front group. The yellow jersey here in this front group, and we just got blocked off by too many of these riders here in this race. I just actually saw an update of today, which is the 24th of November, where the sprint train AI makes sure to block or block riders less, which I'm hoping will have a good result here for our riders. But that means that Hino sadly moving down even more positions, now in 6th place here in the general classification, still on the same time as the other riders, but just not looking so good here for his general classification. He keeps losing positions. First in the point classification, however, and Abe first in the mountain classification, so great job there by them. But we really want to keep that top 10 position at least, or at least try to aim for that top 5 position here with Hino. On here to this 9th stage in the Tour of Algeria. A lovely flat stage, not much to do here for our team. We want to send Abe out again, try to gain those mountain points. You see here Hamza, the number 2 in the mountain classification, jumping away as well. He wants to try and get those mountain points for himself to try and gain back, or try to reduce that lead by Abe on him, and Hino will stay in the peloton and get defended and make sure that we get into a good position here towards the end. 4-minute gap towards the peloton. You see the peloton does not really care about this, about these two riders taking or getting away here from the main group. Abe, big attack here on the second place in the mountain classification. Getting across the line here is first, making sure that he extends his lead even further. We need to make sure that Hamza has no chance here of gaining any points on Abe, and we are successful in that. Once again, a big sprint here by Abe on this second in-between mountain point, and again, getting across the line as first. Another extension here in these mountain points by Abe. Really good job here by him. Still 90 kilometers to go and a 3-minute gap. I don't know if we can maintain that gap. And with 80 kilometers to go, you see the gap is already slightly decreased. So I don't think we'll make it here towards the end. Maybe I can take some points away from the other riders. You see here, I'm trying to send out Abe, but he's not really willing to put in that effort to try and get towards the front, and that's okay. It's not necessarily for him to get those sprint points, and I'm totally fine with that as well. Trying to take or trying to keep away for as long as possible. But obviously Abe towards the end is getting caught into the last in-between sprint point. Big sprint here by Hino. If only he did this in these final parts of the stages. Now 46 points now in the sprinting classification, so a 16-point lead here. And if only we can do well here in these final sprints, that would be the real challenge here for us. That would be the real success for us, I should say, if we can actually manage to get a good position here with our sprint train. We are now 8 kilometers off the finish line, and you see here our sprint train is going as fast as we can, trying to stay here in the front, already giving it most of our stamina basically to just try and stay towards the front here in this stage. Abe already exhausted by being in the breakaway for forever. Morimoto now in a third position, trying to get towards the front of this pack. But you see here the pack on the left really doing an excellent sprint here, trying to get further and further away, which is such a shame, honestly. And trying to, pass up in front of us, make sure that we do not get towards the front. These other sprint trains going further and further away. I'm trying to sprint a little bit early to try and gain on them here with Suzuki. Still more than a kilometer to go. I want to keep our energy for as late as possible here. We know we needed 300 meters to go. Trying to jump away with Hino. It's way too late by us. Another botched sprint here by our team. A little bit better than last stage here, but this time Hino with an 11th position here. Not ideal here for our team. Not the successes that we want. An 11th place here in this stage. And what does this do? We stay thankfully in that 6th spot. Other riders moving up and down. Hino stabilizing his position here in the general classification. We are lucky with that one, but no good sprint here once again by Hino. We keep trying to push. We keep trying to get a podium place here. We want to get those points in this tour to try and get those UCI points. Try to get, our team towards a better position in that UCI ranking, but we keep being outside of that top 3 position. Let's see what we can do here in this final stage of the Tour of Algeria. You saw a very quick preview of the stage that is coming up, with plenty of mountain points to be had, so Abe should really try and go for those, but they are quite late in the stage, and I don't know if I really want to send Abe out to try and push on for this. It seems to be an exhausting stage here. I think we just want to make sure we keep in this peloton, keep protected. Abe is already relatively secure for some of these mountain points, so if we can get maybe 1 or 2 more, I'm certain that this will not change anything in the ranking. Just trying to protect everyone here of our team towards these mountain points and towards these in-between sprint points to at least get those jerseys in this tour. It might not be UCI points, it might not be big successes and wins and things like that in this tour, but at least we can get some jerseys. That is the aim of this stage. And obviously I would love to get another victory, or try to get a victory in the first place here in one of these stages, but looking at the past couple of sprint finishes that we did, it's not been looking super good. Abe getting some second place here across this mountain point. Hino getting across the line here as first in this second in-between sprint point, extending their leads more and more. 15 points now off the lead here is Hino. And that means that he has pretty much secured his green jersey, so fantastic job by him. Abe also secured his mountain jersey as well, so not really too impressive here for him to get these mountain points, but we keep on pushing here in this last mountain section, trying to break apart as many of these sprinters as possible. You see here Morimoto trying to push on as much as possible. Abe now almost doubling the amount of climbing points that he has, so fantastic job here by him. And we want to push here on this hill to try and exhaust the sprinters as much as possible. It does come at a bit of a cost here for Hino, but you know, again, if I can break any of the other sprinters, if I can break the yellow jersey and maybe get a little bit of a lead here on any of the other riders, that would be incredible. Abe here dragging our team across the second or the third mountain point line here, getting the full mountain points and now doubling the points of the second place here. So fantastic job here by Abe. Not really any big results in the podiums or UCI points, but the mountain jersey today here for Abe and in this tour. So fantastic job by Abe. And let's see what we can do here in these last 10 kilometers of the stage. Obviously, we want to get that podium position here. We want to conclude this tour also with some UCI points and some victory in a certain way that isn't just a jersey, right? We want to get some podium positions. We want to get a little bit of a medal here and there. So let's see what we can do here in this last part of the final stage. You see our sprint train is going quite well. We are finally relatively up front here in this stage. We're trying to push on as much as we can. Again, getting a bit blocked here by other riders from the other sprint trains that are dropping off. That means that we need to exert a little bit more energy to try and get towards the front. We are a bit behind them, so it's not looking too good here for our sprint train. The other sprint trains are also quite in chaos. You see them putting in the max effort as possible, getting away from our sprint train though. Where are they getting their energy and their maneuvers from? I obviously know that we are not the best team here in this race. We are quite far away with 2 kilometers to go. I tried to sprint, but Suzuki getting blocked by some of these other riders, losing the wheel of Abe. Or Katsura, sorry, my bad. Oh, what a difficult sprint here. Again, losing the main group of these sprinters. Can Hino make a difference here towards the end? No, top 10 once again here for Hino. Another 11th place here in this race. What a mess once again. The riders blocking our team once again. What a poor sprint by us. I understand that we are not one of the top teams here in this tour, but I would have preferred to do a little bit better. And in the end, we have a 6th place here for Hino. So not a terrible job here by him, but I wanted a podium at one point here in this tour, at least in one of these stages. We did not succeed at that. We did not even succeed at a podium place here in the tour. We were looking on point for that for a while, but sadly, a 6th place here in the tour. That means he only scored 10 points here and 20 points here for one of the one-day races that we did earlier to have a 30-point total, which is less than I would have expected at the beginning of this episode. I would have expected a bit more, but maybe that's just my overestimation, and it's just me figuring out how does this team work, how does PCM 25 work. It's all new things for me, so yeah, a lot of new exploration here for me, a lot of new experiences here for me. And at least we scored 30 points. Maybe I should look at it from that angle. At least we scored 30 points in today's episode. Hino, the one and only the one and only point scorer of our team. Fantastic job here by him today. At least we have 30 points on the board here in this first episode. Again, I would have liked more, but that is what it is. Sorry for the long wait for this first Pro Cycling Manager episode, or Pro Cycling Manager 2025 episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this new challenge that we're doing. It's not really new, but you know, it's at least new with a new team. If you want to see other stuff as well, please let me know. That's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed and look forward to the next episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.